It's time. We have 2 more games remaining here for the FACEIT Global Summit for PUBG Classic, and we are about to get into it. It's going to be another map of Erangel, as we've already had one conclude, and a surprise winner, to say the least, as Aerowolf 1 were able to take the chicken dinner towards the end. My name's Kyle Laris, but nobody cares about that. To my right-hand side, we have Toffees, and we also have Avenger, the guys that actually have some insight. So I'm going to go over to those gentlemen. Boys, that was quite the finish. Not exactly the circles I was really expecting. But
it wasn't exactly finish, and it definitely wasn't the insight for your boys that you're used to. They've slid down a little bit. What it is all about is these teams at the top are playing out of their minds. 8 points separating success and an awful lot of struggle. And I am hyped to see how this continues to go.
Dogmans and Honbayar today, we featured Dogmans to be the players to watch here. He has 20 kills now. Honbayar 16. They're 36 together out of the 56 that Armory Gaming has. That's absolutely insane. These guys are actually pulling up for these guys.
And I think it's something that it just wasn't expected. I mean, it's not a surprise now that both of them are featured regularly in sort of our highlight packages and our players to watch. And there was a point where we said, oh, these guys are snakes, they're camping. But the more that I watch, the more I just become convinced they have an intimate knowledge of the map. They understand rotations very, very well. And I'm more and more impressed with the willingness to be aggressive that they've brought to this tournament. If Armory keeps doing what Armory's doing, I think that there is a very good chance that they lift that, what did you say, it was 70-pound trophy here at the end of the day.
I don't know what 70 pounds is.
It's heavy.
Is it heavy? I said about 34 kilograms. Anyway, regardless. But it's about there. A very, very heavy trophy. But overall, I'm just going to be excited to see if anybody can lift it, firstly, when they actually manage to go and get it. But secondly, coming into this next map, kind of, how do you see some teams like Entus, who actually found themselves in a great spot there in the past game, being able to do it? They got themselves 7 kills, but they were completely trumped out by the fact that so many smokes were causing chaos, and Aerowolf 1 really does seem to kind of thrive in those atypical chaos moments.
So they were my team with the highest upside. They're showing why, because they play it very well. I think there was a bit of a miscommunication with that flashbang that may have cost them the game. Otherwise, I think they very well could have won that and been even closer to the top.
I think they in the end game, they played it wrong. They should have third-partied the fight between Cloud9 and Aerowolf. Swinging up, maybe around, taking a better position there. So they played it a bit too passive. We see often that the 2 teams that start, if there's 3 teams left, the 2 teams that start the last fight, that's where the team that kind of engages in the end, they will be out on top. And they should have started the fight earlier. They should have came out. They started smoking. They played too defensive. They should have continued being aggressive there, and they would have won that whole thing.
Absolutely. I mean, it's important to remember, as the game progresses and you get closer and closer to the end, the scenarios where you've tested this before, that you've practiced for, become smaller and smaller. It's easy to practice your drops, right? Because you get 4 guys on the ground. But then you got to practice 4, 3, 2, smokes, what part of the map. So in those moments when there's 35 smokes, or what seem like 35 smokes on the ground, a flashbang and a push, you know, I think communications can sometimes fall apart, and it seems like that's what happened. Don't hold it against them.
Final thoughts, Avenger, before we go into our penultimate game.
I am looking for a shoot-to-kill win here. We're going to have, hopefully, a northern circle for them. It's going to be nice and smooth. If it goes down to the south, they're going to be having a rough time, and I don't see them ending in the top 4.
OG and Entus Force, they're still my big upside. They had a great last game. If they have another one right here, they'll pull right past Armory. So I'm going to double down on them and say they're prepared and they want to take this thing home.
There's only a few points in it as we get into game number 11 here for the FACEIT Global Summit PUBG Classic. Let's head over to Pansy and Sims for all the action once again on Erangel.
I think, if anything, we're realizing this is truly anyone's game still, especially with that result coming in for the last win. I don't think any of us predicted that at the start of today, let alone coming into this sort of matchup. The last 2 games now, who wants it the most, Richard? Who's going to be fighting tooth and nail for this? Because it takes one good game, high kills, high pressure, and you're right at the top.
That's the thing. Okay, it's really tough at the top and it's extremely close, but everyone around that 8th, 9th, even potentially 10th spot, one good win, 10 points plus 10 to 12 kills, 22-point game, and you're up there with the rest of them for the final match. There's only, it kind of comes down now. If you're down there in that middle pack, this is it. You need a win, you need the frags, you need the points. If you want to get up there, this is the time.
8-point stand between a lot of these teams. Going home and victory. It's time to find out how badly they want it. Who is willing to dig deep enough to pull out a victory. A southern plane path could certainly throw a spanner in the works to those northern teams. A bit of stress towards it, especially coupled with the southern circle, let's say. But that's all yet to be seen. We'll see if there's any surprise drops, issues, potential threats. Because we did see Liquid change it up, but will they go back to their original plan now?
They're already out of the plane, Lauren. They're looking towards what is more formally known as the power plant. That supplements mill to power. They know FaZe isn't here, that they often have been up against so many times in the European regions. Entus not too far in the distance. They'll be kicking it around this area as well.
Liquid are terrifying me, Richard. They're switching things up at this point.
I mean...
I like it, but it scares me.
Yeah, when you think
Wait, Jepti! Jepti and Ivy combine! Huge pickup on towards Entus! Are they doing this?
We are 60 seconds into the game, and they're already burying people in the ground. I'm hearing Martin in the back saying, this is EU. This is what we want to see.
It is. We want some excitement here, and they are challenging. We theorized this so long ago.
Wait, has Profi pulled up on a player?
And a circle on it too?
Oh my word.
Oh, wow.
That is heavily favored, Lauren, towards the south. This could be OPR's playing field.
Profi's just gone down as well.
I caught for this one. For some reason, he pulled up on the back of it.
What is going on? This is madness. That's Profi lost.
Look, it's no hold barred. This is all the rules.
It's game on.
Everything fair game. It's all out the window.
Oh, look at Homboya. He's already going across the bridge.
There's a team moving to the crossroads as well, Lauren. DG98's already pulling up there. If he gets the gun before him, Homboya will be turning up to a party without a weapon.
Who's got the guns? Who's got the weaponry? Surely Homboy has seen this. He's had to have seen DG going past. Oh my God. Entus are looking towards the bridge as well. This is madness, Richard. I don't know where to look here.
Really quickly, I want to theorize something here. What happens if OPR read this well and understand that is a good chance going to be coming across to Military Island? Do they put a scout in Novo and prepare for what will be teams boating off the back of this?
Well,
AG
Entus
have
are doing
gone
it.
early.
Okay, so AG are bouncing off the back of what Homboya is doing. And now we're seeing them going to go towards Novo. You've got AG on the bridge. Homboya went early. He wanted to be the first man to it. Keep in mind, I'm pretty sure
Novo.
the Rangers would have seen this.
They're doing it. They're heading on across.
Oh my God.
We've seen this in several different leagues where teams have decided to take this stance. You know, the aerial tower, which, ironically, thank you, observers do pivot to it. This is a really crucial spot. You put a player up there.
This is the big boy tower.
He's basically Jack Sparrow, just commanding everybody where players are going to be coming in. If you have a scope, Entus, you might not think anybody will be able to see you, but up on top of that area tower, they see everything.
We have our top 3 teams currently sat on the same island, about 200-300 meters apart. You have Entus, you have AG, and you have the Rangers, all together here.
And as a bigger story of that, speak about a domino not, falling over. Like, if they commit to those, oh my God, those shots, I need to, that
was a really nice spray.
A hell of a lot of damage. There is a continuation from the backside as well. I think he's got a teammate with him, Lauren?
Somewhere, I don't know where from. I'm genuinely unsure. Aerowolf this time looking like they're not going to get the start they would have wanted. This is a little bit different than the last. Now let's say who this plays poorly for. We've said who plays this well for. These shots are coming through that. Oh, the car's on fire, Rich. Aerowolf might be in real trouble if they don't get to safety right about now. Hexagon just made it out. But we need to talk about this.
I kind of want to talk really quickly about a bigger picture. Entus's reposition is not going to do Liquid any favors. It depends what gear they've got. I would not expect Liquid to hit Novo. But the problem is getting past Novo could be treacherous waters.
Okay, the one thing I would talk about is who this plays poorly for, especially within the top 8. Who's playing those northern teams? Shoot to kill. I think the desk highlighted it very well in the fact that if you get a northern circle, this would bode well for them. It's not. 4 AM, quite a northern side. Tempo Storm, they're not really within that reaching point. But we are seeing a little bit of a scuffle between Rangers and AG.
You talk about STK. The grand finals yesterday, that they literally went into Miramar with 1 point because of these circles, because they were down south. I'm sorry, but Severny does not heavily favour them. And when you've got the OP Rangers and other teams that are already set up there that know the terrain, at the moment, STK, that's North America's dream of putting a team up there for a regional spot. If they don't do well here, they could go flying down and drop position to anyone like Liquid or 4 AM that is basically waiting with open arms saying, okay, first place within reaching distance, but if it's not, let's go for the regional spot instead. You can pick your poison in the next game.
Okay, Liquid are looking at their options. They're out on the far east side in the water still, maybe considering how busy Nova's going to be. Incognito might be doing it. Looks like 17 Gaming might have just pulled up and set up that roadblock towards the western side. Tempo Storm could be suffering because of this VSG taking the boats down towards the west. Incognito might fall into the Enter's trap here potentially and might just cop all of it. And here comes your boy Dre. Working his way forward, Luke is with him. Have they seen him yet? That is beyond the point. Already Enter's completely unleashing here. And we do see one of those shots landing towards inside. That's an instant. Gone, dusted, get out of Novo. This is theirs. You cannot pull up. Team Liquid are going to hear this. They know that is now a threat. You cannot get past it. You cannot do this. It's still kicking off on the western bridge. Everyone's pulling up. It's Tempo Storm trying to fight back. Oh, good damage from Yak. That's so far away. Like a Kamukau. I thought the Aussies were good in water. I thought you guys were used to being in the beaches. But right now, it's YY's nade to find Maluke. Beyond that, it looks like Tempo Storm can stay alive a little bit. Maybe they can disengage. I don't know if they're forced to fight this one.
We lost one already who went down. We're looking at the previous fight. Just something
nice
I really
angle.
Once this is done, I want to touch on what we've just seen in the previous engagement.
They're surrounding. YY's got a deep position. Monkey King towards the north. That's such good positioning from YY. Your boy Dre goes down. Maluka confirmed as Sharky and Zampa trying to hold this together. Cloud9 have just crashed across the bridge as well. They've just run the bridge. That's going to get very hectic towards that western town just next to Nova. We'll keep our minds towards that if you see it in the kill feed. And 17 Gaming still looking for the next target. Zampa's got an angle on Monkey King. He prones, but he can't stay alive. Sharky, desperate to support, but he's got a nade because there's the fire. Zampa, really nice play from him. Monkey King goes down. He went out on his own, and he received the punishment, but can YY turn the tide?
The reposition was good because now this draws fire.
Sharky
can set up
Rich.
Teal in the kill feed. Your boy Dre confirmed, job done. Sprays through the smoke, doesn't find any tags whatsoever. There is a response there. It depends how deep Sharky wants to go. Does he get aggressive?
He wants
Does
it.
he give up the life? The
He's going.
AKM's
YY's got
good.
the angle, Richard, but he's missed the shot. He's completely fucked his line. No, he fluffed it so bad. The trade's good from Shocks, but they need more than that. He's got to keep pushing. Shao's here, though. Maybe he can pick up the pieces. Zampa! Oh, out of nowhere, Zampa stems the bleeding, but this is all looking a little bit messy here.
Shu has to just go for it. You have to go now. Put the smokes down. Don't bother going for the res. Make sure you confirm this last kill because otherwise Zampa's just going to throw grenades at you constantly to try. Oh, no, it's in front of him. It's in front of him, Laura. I don't think he realizes. He's damaged. He loses one teammate. And now he needs to be careful. It will still be this one-on-one engagement. Tempo Storm, America's #1 coming into this, have not had it easy, not only through this competition, but now they are feeling the full force of the world in the grand finals.
This is rough. I love the proactive approach from Zampa, but he knows what else can he do here.
Really quickly, Lauren, I just want to touch on no EU bias, but Team Liquid's reposition. The fight going down from Incognito, being outside of the water, that drew the attention of the OP Rangers, which allowed them to get on the backside.
We'll come back to that in a sec. That's a big hit coming towards Zampa. I don't think he can even out-heal this at this point. No, he cannot. It's 17 Gaming to win out in the fight in the end. It was messy, it was brutal, but they stand. And sadly for Tempo Storm, they fall.
But how many meds do they have? Okay, they can take the boxes. There's going to be 6 boxes there, 2 from their teammates and 4 from the opposing team. Everyone is centraling up and waiting as the circle, she goes to Millie.
5
Everyone
teams in there.
edged their bets, and it went the right way. But we've still got a fair amount of people, Lauren, who are playing off the back of the blue. They're going to have a difficult task here.
Shooter not even close yet. They're literally going past Pachinki. 4 AM, taking their time. They knew their positioning wasn't going to be quick, but they can find approach, they can find loot, they can work way out. What I'm looking at is Incognito about to go past NIP. He's just waiting. It's like a little pirate waiting to strike. What are you going to do here as NIP come past? He's switched out to the next seat, so he actually might try and take some shots here. This is naval battle. I don't know if this is a good idea for him. He's going for it, though. I don't know if any damage is going to come for it. You can see the boat looking okay so far. Barely any shots coming through. So they've set up a bit of an uncomfortable passing here. And Incognito try and hold the line. Their ship is not looking so good, though.
Yeah, but NIP, where do they like make landfall?
Yeah, I don't know.
You know, everyone who's on the island's pretty much central. The circle's going to be, it's going to be good no matter where it goes.
And it looks like we've got a bit of a pull-up here from Aerowolf. They took so much of beating before. Windstrike, look at them unloading everything they've got towards them. Aerowolf winners from the first round on Erangel today. This time suffering, trying to get into the circle on the western side. 17 Gaming in the meantime have moved up, but they are not without a bit of a battle on their hands too. Already Xiao's been found, going to bleed out in the blue as RDK unleashing bullets with that mini, trying to find Shocks as he makes it past. And going to be the last man alive, if I'm not mistaken, for 17 Gaming.
There's still 3 teams kicking it on this western side. Windstrike, Aerowolf, STK, none of them have made it outside of the blue yet. Last man standing for 17. He'll hold the line and maybe do some damage, but really what else can he do? 4AM as well are still on the opposing side. Now remember, coming in this late into the circle, really, if you go across the bridge, in my opinion, you're dead. But more importantly, where's the vehicles? Where's the boats? How do you go across the water so late into this game?
I don't know. They've got to have a plan in mind. I don't know what it is. There's got to be something. NIP, the laser fire from the coastline from Team Liquid, connecting, and it is connecting. Some of these shots are certainly hitting at minimum the boat, but I looked at Team Liquid in their loot. They aren't looking perfect on that in the aspect of the fact that I didn't see that many nades. There was a few, but it wasn't a great deal in comparison to some of the other teams. Now, Envy might be running a similar route that NIP just did, but they've just gone away from Liquid. Team Liquid are just trying to keep them away. They are the polar opposite of a lighthouse. They don't want anyone near them. Now VSG, on the other hand, are waiting on the other side, so NIP have nowhere really to pull up safely. This is horrible for NIP.
They're in a smoking vehicle, Lauren. A few more bullets and that thing's going up in a ball of flames. Then will try and put the nail in the coffin with an SLR. They'll be able to get some kind of respite now behind the rock, get the meds off, but now it's Envy. They have to run the naval gauntlet, and it's Team Liquid who strike Moody out the back of the boat.
Samty just plucked him out of there and just drowned him in the sea. That's a big pickup. You want a high kill game? Team Liquid already, I think, have 2 under their belt, if I'm not mistaken. So that's really nice for them. And Envy, sadly, they kind of ranged their guns on NIP, and now it's, all right, Envy, we got ourselves really drilled in on this. Interrogating. Backaby trying to make a way through. Shoot to kill, still trying to find a way in. Adam's very low here, down to a very minimal amount of health, and a lot of teams trying to fight a way through on that western side. Oh, what? No! What? Dixon! How did he do that? Oh, shoot to kill, what a travesty! They've lost out on Civil in the worst of times, and the new circle has hit. We'll pay attention to that in a second. It's come through slightly further north, moving away from Novo, moving away from that coastline, and now centering just, I guess, to the west of that radio tower.
I think for, oh no, wait, no.
That's another one.
That's Envy, that's still in the boat coming down.
They're
BSG have held the coast.
And NIP are still in the water, so if Envy try and go deeper into the water, oh my God, Gaxi just found one. Interrogate's gone down, yeah, they're waiting way further down. You have one player still alive, Patcaps just lost at sea.
Yeah, there's nothing that can do that. I think the blue will take him. There's nothing, he can't heal.
Just trying to move up towards Rangers? Yeah, they are. They're trying to fight their way forward a little bit. This is a really strong area, but we'll come back to that in a second. We can try and analyze the positions we have, but it looks like Nookie's going to have some trouble here.
Yeah, this was the one from, what, Shocks from nowhere? He's the last man of 17 still doing damage. He takes down Adam. Mentiel onto Style. That's still on the opposing side where we see the aerial tower, but this is the one. Windstrike took out a player from STK by running them over, but that gave them the information where they were. They were set up to heal because they've been coming out of the blue for so long. Now it's Windstrike's turn. They'll be turning up to this fight damaged and wounded. They'll have to get the bandages off and do whatever they can and then face the full force of STK. But as you allude to, 4AM, they finally made it across the bridge. But do C9 know exactly where they are? Because if they do...
Nerf split is good.
They can be prepared for this. C9 are down one already. Obviously, we saw earlier on in the game, they lost one straight off the bat with Profi. 4AM should be geared, Lauren.
They really should be. They've had several opportunities. You'll be seeing the Rangers in the kill feed just being those turrets on top. It may be in really curious areas too. You may not know where it is. AFF could be maybe picked up. ENF, AG, potentially Cloud9. There's a lot of vision from that hill, so we'll try and keep tabs on that. 4AM still have players locked on the bridge here. I don't know what NIP and Envy can do. They are far in the south as the circle is moving forward, so they aren't going to be forced in. 4AM are safe in the circle, as a Cloud9. Team Liquid have a lot of respite in the way that the ground's not ideal there, but it'll get them safely in. NIP, I think, are preparing themselves.
Oh, wow. Well, he's already lost a helmet, and you can tell the smoke, the boat's smoking. So a few more bullets, that's the concern for them. As soon as they head off,
4AM are rushing in. They're just going to push up now.
That's really clever. They sent 2 people down low up first. They must have jumped off the bridge into the water, repositioned from below, put the smokes up, which allows the rest of 4. That's a really good approach across.
Very smart. If Cloud9 maybe had an extra member, hold on, shoot to kill. After all the scraps they were in, you can see the mice running in front of them, scurrying into the other buildings. This is a battle to try and hold on. Shox is a bit of a one-man standing. Bastion already getting kills. We saw that earlier. I think he was the one who found Adam, if I'm not mistaken. So he can certainly be doing damage, well geared enough to be really quite the nuisance. And Shoot to Kill are not alone. They call Wind Strike. So it's that knock-on effect of the actual melee base. New circle about to come in, and that is good for the likes of Rangers, AFF, ENF, Cloud9, VSG, Team Liquid. Envy are gone. PatCaps finally goes down. He drowns in the sea.
But I'll tell you who didn't drown, NIP.
Yep.
It all comes down to how many meds they have left. Shox gets a word of warning. Star-Lord actually hits him on the back of the bike with a K9. How did you hit the moving target? Good Lord.
He's done it again!
What?
Give me that replay, give me it twice, give me it slow mode, and just give me it now, please. Show me what Star-Lord just did, because that was beautiful, unexpected. But what a time to start digging out those plays. NIP are losing out on players. Clearly their med situation is not primed. Clearly they are unhappy with what they've been given. But Team Liquid hold the south. Incognito are swinging down that way. The eastern side of the new circle is looking scary to me. ENF can play gatekeeper to the teams on the ground lower down. And you can have the Rangers from up above potentially being a threat towards Cloud9, AFF, and 4AM.
And you can already see
they're
NIP, they're starting to fall.
This is a horrible way to die.
They will have split the meds on the edge to be able to maybe try and get a body or two. You can already see now they're dropping them and say, boys, take everything I have and try and stay alive. Windstrike also trying to do the same. Katao has other ideas though. Takes a bullet from Nuki in the back. Is forced behind the tree, but they'll be able to get a read on them, force them at gunpoint outside of the circle. Liquid need to be aware of NIP again. They'll have committed all their utility, but still, they could strike them in the back at the wrong time.
Oh no, it's Duckman's on the move. I am terrified when I see Duckman's going out on his own. We know what that means. Team Liquid are going to hear Incognito opening up towards Duckman's. Gemty needs to be prepared for this in the south. Duckman's is the one-man band. He leads his way in. He pierces through teams, but he's been found this time. Duckman's goes down. This is big. Where's the rest? Where's the support? They've got to know it's coming. Homeboy is not far away. They're taking 2 fights here in the southern side. This could be problematic.
So Liquid have to be careful here because of this road that they're on. It's basically an embankment. Everything ahead of them, they will have to go up and over and essentially approach teams at a disadvantage.
Look at this Incognito fight about to happen. They're split by the road. A little bit of a dip on either side, but the smoke's being used. Ronan is running. This guy's just going for this one. Nades raining in. They're trying to keep them under pressure. Ronan will not stop trying to pressure this one. He's going to see them in 3, 2, 1. He's got to unleash the fire as soon as that angle is revealed. There he is with one. Where's the next? Can he find DMG, or is that just too far beyond him? Oh, the angle. Oh, the third party. That's Team Liquid. Ronan hits the deck, and suddenly there's threats everywhere.
And from absolutely out of nowhere, it looks like NIP have found a vehicle, so they'll continue to move. Damage to answer back though. Ronan goes down. Nuki confirms Hexagon. That's still the battle for Windstrike in the northern area. Oh, 4AM have actually heard the shots that's going down. Aerowolf and Windstrike might be getting the full force of 4AM here in the northern edge of the circle.
It looks like they're about to have that happen as well. We're looking at 4AM moving in pretty swiftly. It looks like Liquid are kicking into gear. Incognito goes down. The aggression did not pay dividends. And we're going to be looking towards the north surely any second here. DMG tries to stay alive. Look towards maybe reviving Homboyer as best he can. Considering these guys are in first place, this is a big storyline. One nade could destroy him, but we knew Liquid were light for utility. And 4AM are sweeping through the north. There's CPT finding Nuki. Windstrike are out.
But the problem is straight off the back of that, C9 was set up and prepared. They took the upper echelons of the compound that's just below the radio tower, and now they can basically just hold 4AM on the opposing side of the road. Nerf's getting aggressive.
Does he want to, though? Because AFF can pinch him in.
That's the problem. Disconnecting from your team like this at this point in this circle is dangerous because they don't control it.
Exactly. If he peaks that ridge, if he gets up to a point where he can engage on 4AM, he is open and vulnerable to AFF. I don't know if they know he's here, but this is a very scary run. You're running a literal just crevasse of danger. You've got 4AM in your north, you've got AFF in the south. Now, I want to look elsewhere in this too. Jeems, yeah, I think Team Liquid just spotted the remainders of AG here. That call has to be made. Jeems has limited nades, but this one could be placed in the pocket of AG and make all the potential difference. He's picked up 6 now. This is good.
It's cooked.
Getting those bodies has certainly helped out. The nade looks decent. AG find a way to stay alive. Keep themselves safe, but that blue will force them forward.
That's the problem. They're committing all their smokes to it, but eventually they have to come out from there.
Got to talk about Rangers trying to move away from that radio tower as well. It's a great position, but it has a time limit on it. And the side they're going to move to is a bit of a steep drop, but look at ZGG right around the corner. It's going to be Cloud9 holding the low ground. They don't know it, they don't expect it, and they're going to have a horrible surprise in the form of K-Mine. There comes the first bullet. It's Lobes to final one. The trade back in from CPT. The nade from the top comes in from ZGG, trying to confirm the kill. You got greedy, Cloud9, and you just got punished.
Armory Gaming is gone as well. 11th position from there, but 4AM is on mop-up duty on the side of C9. They're gone as well. 10th position will be their limit in this almost final game. We have one more remaining, but that top spot, it is well out of their reaching distance now. Back to Team Liquid. They committed to one team, but I tell you what, all this has been going down, Lauren. 2 members of Ninjas in Pajamas are central circle. How in the world were they allowed to make it this far?
I do not know. Liquid's focused on the east. VSG were in their own battles, but 4AM are in trouble. Shoot to Kill have turned up, maybe want to avenge their fallen brethren from Cloud9, but Adam not going to get away with these wide peaks. So you've got to be careful. And look at the split towards the slight further side here. It's not going to be too easy with Forever with a really nice angle. Going to trade in towards Adam. James finding some of the Entus players. That's Yak confirmed down. And Entus one's kind of gatekeeping in the Rangers. Oh, this is going to be such a weird battle going on now.
I think that's it. I think that'll be 8th place for Emoji, and Entus is out, so Liquid.
They basically
they're now laying into another one. All of a sudden, we've just seen one team fall victim to him, but OPR, they have to make the move.
Oh my God,
they're all falling from the mountainside, and he gets run over. The vehicle does him. It falls back on. Oh my word, crushed but to death by your own vehicle. And Liquid, they take full advantage. They move from one team to AFF.
Babo is still here though, Babo's still alive, they've got to know it. Surely Mentiel is in the eyesight of Samty, and Samty signs, seals and delivers the bullets to him. This is going to be clean-up duty, and this is Liquid going off. 9 kills, 10 kills for Liquid. This is huge. Vard even joined in, so now they know they are still standing. VSG not going to have an easy route in either. Starlord under fire, under flak from above. Vard unleash you with a scar, finds a connection, but not without an answer. James is destroying everyone.
10 kills in the bag. Rangers, Entus, 4AM. It doesn't matter who you are. Liquid is prepared to challenge everybody. They are in the chase for that top spot and to claim one of the spots at the end of the year. Lots of work still to do. They're on the edge of the circle, but they have plenty of time to play with. They're in this 2-2 split, which gives them a good positional read. They can look up north, they can head down south. They don't yet realize that NIP is central circle. However, playing in this split might be able to distinguish this with a line of sight if they can get up just a little bit. STK is also another team at the top. They've done quite well, but it's VSG that could feel the full force of 2 teams having an eye line on them.
NIP are back up. The problem is I don't know how much Liquid know about this as well. So STK are engaging towards VSG, who have a nice little bit of cover. It's a really hilly, very kind of intricate area to kind of wind yourself through. So they shouldn't be losing out on people unless you get knocked with the Car 98, something big. NIP could spoil Liquid here. James and Gemty are being very cautious. Purdy Curdy trying to be aggressive, trying to do what he does best, trying to get in their faces, but it's not an easy run this time. And a Juan Dudas nade could be big here. Force him off that angle, force him out of cover. It's right next to him. VSG cleaning up in the north.
So while this is happening, this will give Liquid a little bit of time to reposition. With NIP being so down, not quite out, but they'll be lacking the utility for this late in the game. The nades, the smokes, and everything else. Okay, they've done well to get into the top 4 and pick up a few frags as well.
They have no idea they're here.
This will be the cleanup crew onto the side of STK. Good job from Severny to make it into the top 4. I will give them a big GG for that. They needed it because they were clinging on to dear life for North America. So VSG, plenty of time in the bag. They can do whatever they want, but it all now comes down to what does NIP do to Liquid? Do they break them, and do they stop their chances in the final game here?
Correct. The nades come out. This is the first engagement. If I was NIP, I wouldn't have engaged until I knew I could have gotten that kill, or the chances would be on your side, because now Team Liquid can respond. That's a nice little nade towards Samty, and yes, they hold the center circle, but Team Liquid have so much room to move. They're not that fast just yet. They're not forced to fight it, and now with the shots coming out, VSG are going to start looking towards that center circle. We have a snake in the north, and Starlord seems aware. Now Vard's under fire. That's coming out from Hulk, I think. Let's see what Terrain has in store for us? What do we see here? Star-Lord's still paranoid, but this man can aim like an animal. He can thread the needle more than once. We've seen that several times now.
I think this might be pivotal for Team Liquid. Should VSG be able to get some kind of damage onto NIP? They're still focused on the remnants of STK.
Oh my God. The prediction nade was almost so perfect.
They must know exactly where he is.
They've got a really good
now.
idea. There it is. Okay, we're down to 3 teams. Now, this is what the desk said, and I'm glad they brought it up. You don't want to be the first 2 teams to engage. You want to be the 3rd team to do it and then find the right point to be aggressive off the back. Team Liquid, you kind of want VSG to be forced to fight some part of NIP. But Liquid don't have that much room to work without being a little bit exposed to NIP or one of the others. I want to see what ground they can find here, because NIP aren't moving. They ain't going anywhere because they know they can't. VSG aren't sure what's available. They've been cut away from this fight. So more information is in that southern side, but spots coming out. Samti gathering some information. We've got to look at utility now as well. Plenty of smokes on the Liquid side and a couple of shots coming out. Let's see if they can keep their heads about them.
And that's a play you want to keep at bay. Star-Lord's already hit the world with the Kar-98 on the player on the back of the bike earlier on, and we've seen what he's done throughout this competition. Certainly with the bolt action, he could do damage to Team Liquid. Gaxi has been spotted. We could see on the map a couple of shots coming through, so they know where he is. The question is, who do these points fall to first?
So we have a bit of a kind of hit squad forming for VSG. You have Juan Dudar and one of the other players of VSG starting to go on a more southern swing, starting to kind of maybe consider splitting off from this, leaving Hulk potentially and Star-Lord slightly further north, and that's exactly what's happening. Team Liquid are going counterclockwise almost, and kind of, you know, working their way through the northern side. So this is going to be very interesting. If VSG are pushing forward on this, they're being kind of the aggressors here.
Let's put down a warning shot though, which forces James back. He were going for the nade and the prediction of where NIP was. Some kind of information at least, but again, at the moment it's a matter of peacocking and forcing their hand. They need to push them into this. While all this is going down though, VSG are making ground, Lauren.
Yes.
NIP are basically just holding Liquid all the way up against the edge.
The nades are scary though. If you're NIP, it is very scary.
This could be a really good reposition from Liquid though if they decide to go down south, but it's how much cover do you really have at the moment? They have the line of sight from up high. If you go down low, you might essentially be easy pickings for VSG because they have all these rocks that you can see on screen. They can just play the dips and divots.
I mean, no one likes low ground, don't get me wrong. It's rough to play out of, but with that much cover and intricacy allowing you to make these head peaks, especially with the Kar-98, it's super viable. I'm wondering what Team Liquid do. This is going to be an in-game leader call. Oh, NIP on the run. Connection from Star-Lord. Can he do it again? Oh, one dude else found him. That's Gaxi gone. It's going to be NIP trying to engage here. This could be springboard time for Liquid. Can they find a way through? Gaxi goes down. That's falling to VSG. That's some nice points in their pocket. And now it looks like the northern flank is coming in from Liquid. But that's going to be a limited amount of space here. VSG still hold a great deal of ground here. Samti trying to deny line of sight towards Star-Lord, and that's a big name to be trying to force down.
Keep him here. That's exactly
Vod's
what they
still
want
alive,
to do.
by the way.
Yeah, he could play spoiler, but at the moment, I think James wants to clear out Star-Lord because not only is he giving up the game if they want to make a flank, but he can do damage with that Kar-98, taking life away from them and be able to maybe get a pick, which then will give them the advantage to move forward. Hulk takes down Vard. 2 teams alive, 4 versus 4.
Okay, so Samti, Ibby, and Jempi need to keep their attention, and that's exactly what they're doing. James needs to flank in from the north. They're playing to allow James to make a big play, and he has to do it. Star-Lord spotted, nade comes out. James, it's all on your shoulders to deliver. Can he do it when the time is now? No, Star-Lord denies. Incredible play, not only with the car, but with the M42. Samti forced off the angle. Star-Lord wants to do it all himself, and this northern clash is about to commence. Jemti, Samti, and Ibby slightly further to the south, looking for the best way forward. James is gone.
He's confirmed the nades are up. We'll see if we can pick up any bodies. That's right next to Samti. Oh my God, Star-Lord! Are you really breaking the dreams of Europe here?
This is so far a 1v4, essentially. Ibby and Jemti, the last 2 standing. That's a very risky revive, VSG. They're running it, they're looking deadly, they're looking hungry, and it's Star-Lord again! That's 3 kills onto Team Liquid. 1 man stands, and not for long. Star-Lord destroying Team Liquid.
East versus West in the very final circle. What a way to be sending this into the end game. All the cards are now on the table. Everything is done. We have our final positions as we rock into our grand final map. Liquid, they didn't quite get the job done in terms of the win, but they put some valuable points in the bag. 10 kills plus the placement of second. AG went out quite early on. The Rangers, they got battered by them as well. Entus, they also went down in that kind of engagement on top of the hill.
So we were saying earlier there were a couple of teams that could really do with pushing up at this point, and they were pretty much the ones towards the end to do that. VSG were one of them. They were saying not mid of the pack, but they were just below the top 3. This is big points for them. Team Liquid, same to be said. Shoot to kill, same to be said. But the big kills, that game sat beside VSG and Team Liquid, whereas Shoot to Kill didn't quite have that same sort of punch to them, but they did get some good placements for themselves.
Oh boy, what a way to be setting up this last match. I think it's been a long time, maybe even forever, we've seen a leaderboard so tight and so tough at the top. Everybody is going to have to give everything they've got, not only if they want to lock down that trophy, but lock down the additional points for the Global Championship. This is it now. There's no more doing, there's no more saying, there's no more repositioning. I cannot call who's going to win this one.
No, and I have to say, yes, European bias to a degree, but I've got to give credit where it's due. Team Liquid have dropped somewhere brand new, and they came out second out of the back of that. Quick moves, really smart play off the back, and we saw a lot of the teams who kind of finished towards the top here, making early moves towards that circle. So I'm waiting to see how the standings kind of create themselves into a situation and how it goes down. It does seem as though this is from the last match. These are the points coming in. So if you want to try and do some quick math, you're more than welcome to. But I want to see it in full context. The OP Rangers still doing well for themselves.
What is dangerous here, Lauren, that I'm thinking about, when you look at the 20 points coming out of VSG, they were only 7th. They had 64.
Exactly. They were one of the teams that could push.
Instantly jumps them up to the top regions.
Yeah, and Liquid aren't far behind with 16. They went off with kills. So, I mean, they made up the difference there a hell of a lot too. So this is going to, again, create such an incredible pack. The analysis desk are salivating at the prospect, I'm sure, but before that, I'm expecting we'll hear from the players, but I don't know how to call this one. I think, again, in my eyes, it's who wants it the most, and we're seeing certain teams playing out of their skin here.
Two things I want to touch on really briefly. First of all, Starlord, what a time to step up to the plate single-handedly, just destroying the hopes of Liquid. I think I'm pretty sure he took the 4 on himself at least. He definitely took 3 down. But a team we need to call out, Shoot to Kill. From looting in Severny, to be able to come all the way down to Military Island, make it into the top 4 and pick up a few frags as well. That's not an easy job.
I'm trying to do the maths here, and honestly, I don't want to because it's I don't know. What I really want to do is see the overall leaderboard. That's all I want to see, because the last game, it changes everything. It changes all the dynamics. So that's what I'm waiting for, as we do still look at those last results coming in. Sadly for Incognito, and they're a team I've been enjoying watching. If I'm honest, I want to kind of take ourselves away from the very higher echelons and look towards that mid-pack to maybe the lower kind of position. Incognito have been an incredible story for me.
It was just a little bit unfortunate that they came off the back of, and I did say you have to be careful when you go past Novo, especially when you get a circle like that. Teams are going to be hyper-aware and proactive to reading those rotations. All right, it's out in the water, but it's still an only viable way to basically get onto the backside of Military Island. Liquid actually paid for that, in my opinion, just simply for the fact that because they were so focused, the Rangers, on Incognito, they basically got a free pass and allowed them onto the island.
Okay, you know what? Enough from us. I'm going to be keeping my eyes peeled for that overall leaderboard. We have to see one of the players who's pushing his team there. That's going to be Starlord for VSG.
That's exactly right, guys. I'm here with the EU Dream Crushers themselves and Starlord. So going into that Team Liquid fight, one right at the end, what was your approach to that? What were you thinking going into it?
자, 마지막에 리퀴드랑 4대4 싸움을 하게 됐는데 그때 어떤 생각을 하고 싸웠고 어떤 결과를 낳았나요?
우선 저희가 성적이 전날 안 좋은 게 분명히 많이 있어서 이번에는 할 수 있다라고 어떤 팀이든 만나도 이제 좀 지지 않겠다 이런 느낌으로 게임을 붙었더니 그냥 운 좋게 이겼던 것 같아요.
So yesterday our score was not our best, so we were planning to win. So we planned to kill everyone we met. And then we did it, but it happened that because we got the luck.
Well, Starlord, you've been a fantastic player throughout this tournament. I just want to pick up on when you killed a player from 17 Gaming, when he was on a bike, you managed to hit him and knock him off that bike. Can you talk to me about that fight?
자, 아까 전에 17게이밍한 선수를 바이크에 탄 채로 처치를 했는데 이게 어떻게 처치했는지 또 어떤 느낌이었는지 알려주세요.
사실 이 배틀그라운드라는 게임을 하기 전에 이제 좀 이제 총이 그러니까 스나이퍼 총기류가 좀 많이 어려운데 불구하고 제가 쓰는 이유는 제가 다른 타 게임인 뭐 배틀필드 같은 게임에서 SR을 많이 즐겨 썼기 때문에 그래서 배틀그라운드 내에서도 그냥 지나가는 거에 대해서 딱히 무리 없이 쓸 수 있었고 그냥 쉽게 잡았던 것 같아요.
I didn't feel any difficult to get him because I used to play sniper rifles in every other kind of shooting games, so I didn't have like that difficulty to get him.
Well, yeah, it looks so easy for you, Starlord. Now, the points are so close on the leaderboard. Kills are of such high importance. How did that affect your gameplay coming into this game?
자, 지금 상위권의 점수들이 굉장히 격차가 적고 그렇기 때문에 킬 포인트가 엄청나게 중요할 것 같은데 이 사실이 앞으로의 게임에 어떤 영향을 미칠까요?
우선 지금 하던 대로 할 거고 만약에 우리를 좀 겨냥한다는 그런 액션이 보인다거나 이게 누군가가 부딪히는 거에 대해서 절대 도망가지 않고 그냥 다 맞부딪혀서 킬포인트다라는 느낌으로 다 맞서 싸워서 치킨을 할 수 있다면 할 것 같지만 우선 지금 하던 대로 하겠습니다.
So we're now gonna do what we've done, and if some teams are focusing on to our team, we're not gonna avoid them. We're just gonna have the battle and make them defeated.
Well, that's some confident words from you guys. We only have one more map left until we crown the winners of the FACEIT Global Summit, and we're gonna break that match down at the desk.
My boys, VSG are able to get themselves the win at the end and make this all wide open. It has been blown open. When you look at the overall standings in just a few moments, you are going to salivate at the notion that we have such a close run towards the very top. Starlord able to come out in the very ending moments. Avenger, you're looking at me all strange. I have a bit of energy here.
I can feel like, what have you been drinking? Or maybe it's off this VSG win here. No, these guys, they played it perfectly. Executed the last and the end game to 100%. Taking low ground, taking as much control as possible, leading into the end here and making sure that they can push towards Liquid as soon as they got that knock. That was perfect.
Starlord, well named. His performance is not of this world. You give that man a bolt action and it becomes instantly legendary. Shots off of motorcycles, big airdrops, and then on top of that, you throw the grenades that he was hitting, the flank pushes, the smokes. This guy is absolutely crazy, and as a result, VSG is riding his waves all the way to the top.
They're from another galaxy. Or Starlord is maybe.
You're not wrong at this point. Let's take a look at the highlights here as well. And, you know, when we take a look at those overall standings, they were about middle pack. But now they are well in contention here. Anybody having one big game in the final game here of the FACEIT Global Summit could take it all very, very easily.
Yeah, I've seen the numbers. We'll wait till we see it to let you guys have the experience with the rest of us. But it is the craziest leaderboard that I have seen in a very long time. Song Yang taking some nice shots here. But come on, this is another military circle. I don't even understand what's happening. It's causing chaos. It's causing crazy. But our teams are handling it ridiculously well and adjusting on the fly, including Team Liquid, who had a phenomenal game and is right back in the mix.
So I just want to say one thing. Milta Power is EU territory. Let's just make sure. FaZe Clan made sure that 2018 Milta Power is EU territory, and Liquid dropping there, making sure that's happening again. Look at this Tixu as well taking them. And you know what? 3 games out of 5 on a Wrangle is on military, and still we see shoot to kill, in it to win it.
I mean, I actually saw a tweet from Mixie from G-Core, I mean FaZe, who said, it warms my heart to see Liquid in Milta Power. So that was very exciting. It's working out in their favor, and the adjustment was necessary and it paid off when that circle showed up.
Yeah, I mean, also, you're dropping early out of the plane and taking advantage of those 1 minute extra loot, taking a kill in the beginning, getting some good loot, rotating very nicely onto the southern side of the eastern military circle and getting a lot of kills, pushing into the nice spot here. This was fantastic, though. OP Gaming Rangers falling to their demise.
Now, to be clear, this is what they had to do because you can't jump off that top without dying. For those of you who may be sort of joining us or new to the game, the car is your only option, so they did their best.
What a scene, though. That was amazing to see here in the final moments, of course, as Team Liquid were raining down pain on some of the remaining teams.
Shoot to Kill also played this very well, considering how hard it is to get them down there. They got a 4th place from that, but BSG here, what an amazing spray from Starlord.
Pushing uphill, this was an Erangel game, but it may have been a Miramar ending. The geography here reminds me of the desert, and BSG played it perfectly.
Starlord coming out, banging there, and obviously all of this brought to you in the penultimate match by NVIDIA. And now it brings us to only one final game here for the FACEIT Global Summit. And you cheeky devils, you're in for a treat because we have a very, very close race all the way up to the top. Honestly, just to preface where we are at here in the standings that we will get to in just a moment, I have been informed this is probably, in my mind so far, and I have hosted the biggest PUBG tournaments around the world, not only on console, but also on mobile. This is the potentially best ending of a tournament in PUBG history.
If anyone doubted that BR could be an esports, this is it right here. This is Battle Royale esports.
It's action-oriented. The new super scoring system, I think, has allowed us to have teams find alternative ways to rack up points when rotations aren't an option anymore. We've seen it close in the past, but never this many teams this close. I mean, that trophy, sometimes at this point you have 3 teams, you're like, I roughly know. I have no idea.
No. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's look at the leaderboard because the top 6 are within 6 points of each other.
Good night.
12 points. For Angry Men, if For Angry Men have a 16-kill game, they're also in it. This is insane. This is so damn close.
6 points separating them, but also worth noting out, 3 of those teams are coming out of the PKL. Phenomenal play. These guys, if you doubted they knew how to play Erangel, you were proved wrong. If you doubted they didn't know how to play Miramar, you were wrong. They came to game and to put Korea on the FPS map.
And if you doubted that they couldn't play FPP first person, this is it as well.
Yes, you're absolutely correct. Now, do bear in mind, now that we're at a late stage here in the grand finals, there is the potential that tiebreakers could come into effect. And you can already see it exemplified there in that 2nd place spot. If you are tied in points, kills will determine that as the first factor when it comes to a tiebreaker.
The next factor in the tiebreaker is your biggest game. The most kills, probably with a win as well. This is the next tiebreaker.
Let's go. All right. There's hope for STK yet.
Well, you hope STK they're gonna tie with somebody and they're gonna take it because of their 16-kill chicken dinners.
Honestly, I hope that somebody wins like domination
with
outright.
like 20 kills, 21 kills.
Some sort of just mop up or 2 teams where it comes down to the final throwdown. But this has just been an amazing experience, start to finish.
And you know what? I doubt that's gonna happen because there's 6 teams that close. Nobody's gonna play overly aggressive except the teams that are in the bottom because they're hunting for the top 12. They don't care who it is. They just want to get into that top 12, get into the money, and get further into the money as well.
What a tournament so far. What a tournament. And here at the desk, we're all very, very excited. But I'm sure we have somebody else who's very excited down on the floor as well. Let's head over to Frankie.
No, I'm not excited at all. Color Earth, who am I kidding? Of course, I am ecstatic, and I'm joined by Chris. He's a Team Liquid fan. You must be feeling pretty good right now too.
Oh, you know it. I'm hungry for the Liquid win. This time, it's going to be the chicken dinner.
Are you surprised at how they managed to turn things around this weekend?
Not really. I think it's been a build-up. They were just getting used to everyone else's play style, and now they've got it.
And were you surprised by them dropping in Mill to Power? Because that's FaZe's ends.
Well, I think they just had a good feeling about it. I mean, they were seeing that 17 were fighting them for Pachinki all the time, so why not try something else, see how it goes?
Martin, he's after your job. Now, Chris, the thing is, we actually met before. We met at PGI Berlin, and Liquid came 2nd there. The question is, do you think they can go one further? Because they're 2nd on the leaderboard right now.
Well, it's almost a year since then. They're just going to move forward, and the only way forward is #1.
I like your thinking.
Thank you very much.
And Chris, who's your favourite member of Liquid?
It's got to be the Master Troll, James. Or does he have to be Ibiza? He's the king of the smoke.
Are you also a fan of him on Twitter, then? He's been trolling all week.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you know it.
Well, thank you so much, Chris. I can't wait to hear you cheering in the audience. We need to go to a quick break. Don't forget the socials, though. #FACEIT Global Summit. Who's going to win? Who knows?